Hey, everybody, thank you so much for your support of Indie Agency News. Oh, we really appreciate it. We keep growing, and it's because of you. I'll tell you also why we keep growing. It's meeting agencies. Let's meet an indie agency. Let's go. Let's go to my original hometown. My original hometown, the Twin Cities of Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Back to your roots, Doug. Yeah.
Back to my roots, and I'm afraid that the accent's going to come back. I'm a little worried that it might start getting a little thick in here. So there you go. And then of course, I have to say that we did get some new technology. So there's the laugh track for you.
So I need that. I like it.
So you grew up in Minnesota, right? So
I did.
So it probably has a little KQ92 vibe to it.
Absolutely. Yes. Yep. And I get laughs at my accent too. So I lived in New York City for a long time, but I couldn't kick it. So I've been the butt of many jokes.
I moved to suburban Philadelphia when I was 12, and I had the thick Minnesota accent. And I'd go over to South Jersey. Another podcast for another time. But I get over there, and they're looking at me going, "Yo, you've got a funny accent." I said, "Oh yeah, you do too."
Oh yeah.
You kind of do too.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I know. Oh my gosh. No, but that's the beauty of language. It's all ours, and accents are a big part of it. And what's interesting is there's some of that vernacular. I think what's interesting about Minnesota is that there is this perception that all we talk about, our big response is "you betcha," but it's actually "you bet."
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah, everybody seems to think it's "you betcha," but it's not. It is "you bet." So
100%.
And the Minnesota nice thing is very, very true. I'm walking through. We'll get to the interview here in a second, but I'm walking through the airport in Minneapolis to catch a connection, and there were like 6 of us in a circle walking, and there was a woman in the middle of that circle. She sneezes. Every single person in that circle said, "Bless you."
Yep. It just happened in our office this morning. Someone sneezed and there was like 14 of us. Bless you.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever been at a Minnesota 4-way stop? Go. No, you go. No, you go. No, legally I know I'm supposed to go, but you go. No. You go. Go.
Drives me crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, but we wouldn't want it any other way. That's true. All right, let's talk about the agency Latitude. When was it founded? Give me a little bit of the backstory on that.
Yeah, so we were founded in 2009, 21 days after a trip to Haiti, where my husband and I met kids living in City Haiti, which is the poorest slum in the Western Hemisphere, and just really came back like knowing that we could use business to change the world. And so we wanted to do what we do well in business, build an agency with a profit sharing model of 50% of our profit share going to nonprofit partners who are doing amazing programming with, empowering people in the developing world. So we started in New York. Now our headquarters are in Minnesota, and we have a team in Portland.
So yes, and that is my hometown. Okay, so that's super fascinating. I have to imagine, so 2009 that you're going into this, and I would say that there would be a mix of both. Well, definitely curiosity from the front end, right? Just off the bat. But being able to stake a claim, have a real purpose, drive it forward, and then do it so in a way where it's sustainable, because we know you and I have been in this industry for a long time. The best of intentions, however, not always the best of execution on things like that. How did you maintain? So walk us through, where you were putting some of these resources for these nonprofits, and most importantly, how you got it sustainable, and how brands understood that better.
Yeah, so that's a great point. So first of all, I think there's a lot of people that do things based in a purpose, and they use that as an excuse to not be excellent, like, well, but we're on a mission. And so, all of that. And so we had to really prove ourselves at the beginning, like, we are going to do the best business. We're going to be absolutely excellent. And I think we had to work almost twice as hard to prove ourselves because of that, like, skepticism. But once we did, once our clients just realized, like, wow, Latitude is so dependable. They're such strategic problem solvers. They're going to run through walls for us. And they know how to execute against our business objectives. Like, we won their trust over time. And then we were like, hey, like, remember, we're a social enterprise, and actually you just funded the build of a playground, or because of this project you just put 10 kids through school for the next year. And so we were able to share that with them, and that took a lot of relationship building with the nonprofit partners, sitting on the board, being really close with their executive director. And then all of our team would travel once a year to the developing world to meet the people and, like, serve in that community, so that we could really understand what the assets of the community are, what's their giftedness, and then what are the needs, and make sure that the nonprofit was really aligning around that and moving towards sustainability in that aid. And that's been a journey. Like, there's been some times where we've, made wrong moves. Like, we built an orphanage in Haiti and ended up a couple of years later transitioning that to family style homes because the kids needed to be in a smaller group, right? And then there's other times when it's worked really well, like building a pizzeria, commercial bakery, that we did the brand and the business model and funded the build of it. And that is fully sustainable and has been for probably 5 years, and employs 160 people profitably, right?
Where's
So that's in Titania, Haiti. It's just outside of Port-au-Prince.
It's Titania. Okay, it's Port-au-Prince.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So who are some of the brands that you work with? Because
Yeah.
that's,
So
I mean, what a great, oh, by the way.
yes, our first client was Foot Locker, like a tiny project that they took a chance, and then we quickly became their, like, go-to partner for activating in their stores and bringing brands to life. So Adidas is a partner we've had for 12, 13 years. We recently had the privilege of, like, building out, concepting and building out their store in Miami that was Messi focused to capitalize on the hype of him coming to the MLS. And we did that all in 21 days, from concept to build out and opening the
Like a
store.
carny
So,
ride. Up like a carny ride.
yeah.
That's the way
So
it is.
much of this industry is like a carny ride. Like,
It is.
yeah.
Well,
We,
now that, yeah, the Adidas part now explains the Portland part. So yeah,
yes.
yes,
So
I,
yeah,
I get it. I
mhm.
mean, we've veered a little bit away from the standard line of questioning that we
Yeah,
do. But
sorry.
no. Again, very Minnesota trait. We're like
Yeah.
Canadians. We're like Southern
Yeah.
Canadians. That's what I tell people. It's like we apologize a lot.
So
Uh,
many sorries.
so, clearly we know what your agency's ethos are about. Now, and every agency has a huge list of things that they're great at. What would you say are the 3 core strengths of Latitude?
Yeah, so we're great at fast strategic design, and that can come to life in building a brand or refreshing a brand, doing a brand campaign, and then a lot of our work ends up activating that campaign in market, oftentimes in retail. But I'd say the biggest differentiator for us is we never just design to design. It always has to be based in an idea and objectives, and making sure that we're moving the business forward in whatever they're growing, affinity or engagement, sales, whatever that is. And then basing it all in a big idea that comes to life across channels for maximum impact.
Got it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
What Why is being independent important for you as an agency, and taking that one step further? Why is it important for your team?
Yeah. So first of all, being independent allows us to have something as crazy as a profit sharing model, right? So we can do the right thing, even when do the right thing toward the mission that we started, the reason we started, even when times are tough, and it allows us to also be creative in how we do that. So during COVID, it hit us really hard. We were
Yeah.
retail and activations, and so profits were really hard to come by for quite a while, and we were still feeling called to serve humanity. And so we were able to take our other assets, like our space, started a co-working space, bring the community together, fundraise for events, used our talent to build brands for some nonprofits, or raise money for them. And so like that agility of being able to be independent matters. And then I'd say for our team, like the fact that we're purpose led and that they can do this beautiful, sexy work for brands that are in market and that work they're so proud of, but then also know that even though that campaign isn't living in perpetuity, the impact that they're making in the world is. So that's really motivating. And then I would just say, like, the ability to be entrepreneurial, right? Like, our clients now more than ever are facing constraints that are really challenging, timing, budgets,
Yeah.
board changes, right? And so our ability to shape shift with them and say, hey, here's where you're at. We're going to come alongside you. We're going to tweak the model of our workflow a little bit to make sure that we're reaching your objectives with excellence. It makes us a really valuable partner, and it feels good to be able to like shape shift like that when needed.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and that's reasonable and rational.
Yeah.
Uh, what what's the main reason a brand should work with you and your agency?
Oh man, our team, the Latitude team, is made up of really passionate people. Like I said, who are just who give a care about the world, and they're highly creative, super strategic, dedicated, and like the craziest problem solvers I've ever come in contact with. And they will run through walls for our client. And so, I mean, man, that's the DNA of people I want to collaborate with, and I think that's why our clients keep coming back as well.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
Mhm.
Let's go on to the talent side of it, whether it is full-time, whether it is, freelance, and everywhere in between, shall we say. Why should talent put the agency on their list?
Yeah. Well, again, not to beat a dead horse, but I'd say the number one reason people do is because of why we exist and the impact that they get to see and share with
Right,
their families. And um, but I'd also say that like our entrepreneurial spirit and our agility and our speed, like we end up wearing a lot of hats. And so I think people who want to grow quickly and have a lot of opportunity and not necessarily have super siloed or rigid roles and responsibilities really thrive here. And so they know if I go to Latitude, I'm going to learn a ton. I'm going to be challenged, but supported. I'm going to get um, some autonomy to do things well, and yet I'll have the support when I need it. And our team just really likes each other a lot. So
right.
there's a lot of love and affinity within the walls here, which I think is maybe not always the case. So I, like these are just people that you want to do life with.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Mhm.
Where is some of this talent coming from?
Yeah. So most of the talent comes from other agencies.
Okay,
People in our industry, tend to hop around a bit, and
sure.
we've been lucky to, attract them and retain a lot of them. Sometimes, every once in a while, there will be someone from, corporate who that just really wasn't their jam. They're like, I like
Right,
I need to be able to use my giftedness outside of this linear track. And so
right.
they want something, different. And then some of the best people that we've found have been like in totally different industries. Like we had someone that came from like financial planning, and she was like the best producer, right? So I like to just think like there's a
Yeah,
spirit about people and an aptitude that's really important, more so than like their skills or experience. And sometimes our skills and experience can hold us back, like because we think, oh, this is the way it's
this is
done.
the way it's been done before. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, that's
So,
interesting because, uh, teaching at Portland State University,
mhm,
what I always explain to students is, you know more about advertising than you realize. You simply need to learn the lingo, you need to learn
mhm,
some of the places, but being able to come in with that different mindset is massive. So, yeah, that's amazing.
yeah.
Last question here. This is our little thought experiment. Whether it's an
Oh,
existing client or a client you admire, maybe a client or a brand you might wanna work with,
mm.
which CMO or marketer would you wanna say hi to?
Oh, I love this question. I've really enjoyed seeing the Barbie work come to life and all the hype around it this summer. It's been fun. I have 2 daughters and, it's just been and it's a nostalgic thing for me. I happen to be in that age demographic where that's what I played with growing up, and, so I would love to work with the great minds that, brought that to life. I love their CEO, Richard Dixon is, like, brilliant, but Lisa McKnight, Elizabeth Salter, Pamela Velarde, like, any of those people I would love to work with.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. That's a solid one. All right, as I'd mentioned before we got on this recording, I have a new board. So it's a Rodecaster Pro. So this is new, and it's got little. So I was morning show producer because we'd mentioned the morning show thing, and it's got these buttons, these pads that have sound effects on them, and you get 2 banks of 8, so that's 16 total. That's plenty. You don't need that many. We used to have this machine called a 360 machine, and that's what you would fire
Oh, boy.
sounds off of. And this one's a little bit more demure, and I haven't loaded any new sound effects on here, but we're gonna try this. So pick a number between 1 and 8. And we'll see what we get.
7.
7.
Mhm.
Oh, we got crickets.
Oh, I was thinking it was birds, and I love birds, but it's crickets. I
No,
love
well, it's crickets.
too.
Here,
Okay.
well, here's number 8. So there we go. There we go.
Wow.
There's professional DJing right there. I faded out.
That was very, like, Barbie Dreamhouse-ish.
It was, yeah.
That
Yeah,
number
and
8, like,
actually the color code for it is pink. So there you go. The world works in
perfect.
mysterious ways. It's a mitzvah.
Perfect.
You lived in New York.
Yeah.
You know what that's about.
Yes. I do. I do. Such good stuff.
Yes. Well, Krista, thank you so much. It's fascinating to learn about not just the work that the agency does, but the beliefs behind it. And we
Aw.
appreciate you spending time with us.
Thank you so much for having me, Doug. I look forward to, seeing you in the hood when you come back to Minnesota.
I'm coming back in the winter.
All right. Yeah. Glutton for punishment. All
Indeed,
right.
I am.
Well, thanks so much.